Hey everyone, I'm the Black-Haired Richard Core Kenobi here, and I'm back again for another movie review, and today we're going to be reviewing Christopher Robin, my most anticipated Disney live-action film yet. So yes, as you guys know, I'm a huge Winnie the Pooh fan. I have grown up with the character ever since I was an infant, and I still have never forgotten this character and the lessons he has taught us. And of course, as you saw in my first two trailer reactions, I am just straight up hyped for this movie, because I think this could be the first Disney live-action film to resonate with me and be my instant favorite. Now, of course, this is going to be a little short review because I want you guys to seriously go watch this film, and this is also going to be a spoiler-free, so don't worry about being spoiled. So with all this being said, let's just go ahead and get into it. So, yes, this film, of course, as you all know, it stars Ewan McGregor as Christopher Robin, and Jim Cummings back again as Winnie the Pooh / Tigger, and it's directed by Mac Foster. So, of course, the basic premise for this film is that Christopher Robin spends one last time with his friends, including Winnie the Pooh himself, as he has to prepare to go off to boarding school. And as he goes to boarding school, he has to eventually learn to let his childhood innocence and imagination go, as we see a montage of him growing up. We see he meets his first love and gets married. We see him go off to the war, come back home. You actually see he's a father now and he has to support his family. And these days he is working at a briefcase company, trying to figure out a way to make successful cutbacks without laying any workers off. And all the stress eventually is getting to him to where he can't spend time with his family for the weekend, and they have to go by themselves, and he has to figure out this dilemma he is in. And on the side of that, Winnie the Pooh has lost his friends, and he doesn't know what happened to them. So he decides he has to go find Christopher Robin to help him. So they both meet up in the same place, and they both discover each other, and they decide they both have to go back to the 100-Acre Woods to find out what happened to their friends. And all of this is under the clock, as Christopher Robin has to figure out a way to solve this problem and get back to rekindle his love for his family and try and save his job. So yeah, a lot of information to take in, and yeah, so right off the bat, how was this film? Guys, this film is pitch fucking perfect. It does have flaws, it is not a masterpiece, but I will say, it is hands down, in my opinion, the most and best original Disney live-action film. It's not adapting anything, it's not retelling anything, it straight up feels like a proper sequel that we never knew we wanted. It does take place after the first Winnie the Pooh movie, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. In fact, they have callbacks and references to that film, which are very, very good. And it's also taking what we knew about the real Christopher Robin, and it's trying to combine the two. So again, that's fucking perfect. Now, the one complaint that this film has, let's just go ahead and get into the downsides first, is that this film is being labeled as Hook 2.0. In fact, it is very similar to Hook. If you've seen the movie Hook, then you've automatically seen most of this film. Now, I'm not saying the film is an entire carbon copy of it. I'm just saying the elements it borrows and it does, and the story it's trying to tell, it's automatically going to be unfairly compared to Hook. Now, regardless of which one of these two did it better, I'm not here to make comparisons. I'm just here to tell you that as someone who has seen Hook, it's one of my favorite Steven Spielberg films of all time, I will say I could see it right there in front of me, but I didn't let it distract me, but it unfortunately did take away from some of the things I wanted to enjoy and take away from this film. Now, that being said, the other big flaw that I have with this film is the ending. Now, already I'm not going to spoil too much about the ending because I really want you guys to once again go see it, but I will say this. The first two acts of this film, as I'm going to get to in the positives, were fucking amazing. Especially those first 15 minutes, and the ending, even my friend 8-Bit Misfit agreed with me, is that the ending felt too Spielberg-ish, and it felt like this film was trying to combine everything from the early days of Winnie the Pooh to the 50s of the time period this is in to the 90s. So again, it's trying to be all three of these things, and it doesn't work. In my opinion, the 90s cheesy ending, especially for Winnie the Pooh, it doesn't work in this film, and that's not what this film is trying to be. This film is not a Winnie the Pooh film. It is a Christopher Robin film with Winnie the Pooh in it as the second protagonist. So, yes, that was a little bit distracting, but, and I wish it would have been rewritten, but other than that, I don't think this film really brought it that much down for me. It did bring it down, but not that much. Even my friend J3 said in his video that this film being really, really comparable and easily identical to Hook, it is a bit of a problem in terms of its originality. So yes, other than that, those are really my main two flaws with this film, other than Christopher Robin's wife, which I won't get into here. But now let's get into the positives. First of all, the positives. Okay, where to begin? Ewan McGregor is hands down, I say hands down, the best version of Christopher Robin I've seen. He was almost born to play this type of role, and if you see him as Obi-Wan Kenobi before you go into this film, trust me, after this film, whenever you see Ewan McGregor playing a character similar to this, you're just gonna see Christopher Robin. That's how good his performance was. He did a great job of capturing that adult that has so much responsibility, so much stress, and a lot of things to live up to, that when he finally cracks and he breaks down or he gets scared, you believe it. He's not phoning it in. You don't see him hamming it up. No, he is genuine in his delivery. And there is a certain scene in here that is my favorite moment when he goes back to the 100 Acre Woods to rescue Eeyore. He jumps in and he starts laughing. And he's using his imagination again. And again, my friend 8-Bit Misfit told me this. That was a genuine Ewan McGregor laugh, because he brought this up to me, and I didn't even think about it until he brought it up. We've never seen Ewan McGregor laugh like he does in the scene I just said that's in the trailer and in this film. Never. I shit you not. So the fact that either one, the director told him to do that, and it made him bring it out, or the scene he was in was so good, it brought him out, and it was a legitimate laugh. So that's what this film did to him, and I think, and he also does a great job of talking and interacting with the characters. They are there, they're just dolls and, you know, practical effects, but again, he's using his imagination, and he with amazing direction by Mac Foster, he does it very well. And again, I cannot praise Ewan's performance enough. I really think this, along with Obi-Wan Kenobi and his performance in Big Fish, this is his 4th or 5th best performance. It's easily top 5 material. So yes, Ewan was amazing. Now Jim Cummings coming back as Winnie the Pooh / Tigger. Okay, Winnie the Pooh himself, who was the secondary character, he is fucking amazing. It's the Winnie the Pooh we all know and love with some twist. He does act, and he does give the wisdom he always gives. He acknowledges that he's not that smart, but again, he may not be that smart, but that doesn't mean he's dumb. And Jim Cummings' performance and the way he stretches out his emotions with this character, this feels like the best Winnie the Pooh performance he's ever given, because you actually do see Winnie the Pooh himself go through a bit of a character arc, and you see him grow as Christopher Robin has grown, but not in the way you think. And it's very powerful, especially there is one scene that he has with Christopher Robin, and it's a legitimate emotional scene, and the way Jim gets into it, it hands down made me cry. And just, of course, hearing Winnie the Pooh's voice again, smiling and just laughing at with him. Again, this character is still the same character we all know and love, but the fact that he went through a 3-dimensional arc, I think, is amazing. And it's this movie that's going to make him even more timeless than he already was before. And as for Tigger, guys, what can I say about Tigger? It's Tigger. Everything you know and love about Tigger, he's in this film. Now, he doesn't get an arc, but that doesn't mean you don't smile and have fun with it. Again, Jim did an amazing job of just capturing the spirit of Tigger like he always does, and I can't say anything more than that. It's Tigger. You just have to see it to know what I'm talking about. So again, these performances were great, and they are what carried this film for me, in my opinion. Also, too, the soundtrack is very much as great as I would imagine. Now, it does use some of the classic Winnie the Pooh themes, but it also doesn't try to do the whole John Williams hook thing of making it sappy for the sake of being sappy. No, the music on its own, especially when there are quiet moments, there are relatable moments, or even a little bit of scary moments, it's very good, and it does have a bit of range to it. So I love the verticality this soundtrack has, and big props to the composer. I will definitely be listening to the soundtrack again and again to see if I can picture these scenes in my head. So yes, very good soundtrack. And, of course, finally, let's just talk about the first 15 minutes. Now, again, these first two acts, as I said, are amazing. Even to a degree, the third act is also good, but it's those first 15 minutes when you start watching the film. It takes you back. It literally turns you back into a child, and then you get to smile and laugh as you did when you saw the first Winnie the Pooh film or the show. But then it also takes you on a journey to growing up as Christopher Robin is growing up. So you feel as if you've grown with him, and that is why you feel more relation to this guy and what he's going through in his adult life. And I will say this, those 15 minutes are very depressing and not dark, but it's very meta in how we've all grown up with Winnie the Pooh, and how we as adults now have responsibilities of our own. So the fact that the film does not waste any time in pretty much delivering that message and showing the evidence in front of us, if you're like me, you're going to feel like a child again. Then you're going to feel as if you've grown up in the span of a couple of minutes. If you're in your 60s or 70s, you're going to go through the same thing. So the fact that this film, in those first 15 minutes, was able to be very depressing, very meta, and surreal, especially when you take it away from this film, that half of this film is depressing, but it's a good thing, and it's a huge risk that I'm very much happy Disney made. So yes, very big props to those first 15 minutes, and yes, guys, now, to end it off here, what can I say about Christopher Robin that I already haven't said? The film is literally a pitch-perfect film. It does have very big flaws, and it, in my opinion, is not going to be a masterpiece. And in terms of where it is in this line of Disney live-action films, in my opinion, it's going to be the most underrated of them all, and it's going to be an instant cult classic, because it's not going to be as big as The Jungle Book or Beauty and the Beast, but that doesn't mean it's not going to be memorable. I do think this film will easily be remembered for what it did, for the risk it took, for the message it did and brought to us, but also from what it tells us in the end. The two things. One is that doing nothing often leads to something big. And the second thing is that no matter what, no matter how much we all grow up in the end, Winnie the Pooh is going to be there. He'll grow up with us, but he'll still be more or less the same, but he'll show us that in order for us to move forward, we have to go backwards in order to find the right path to move forward. And I think that's very deep, and I think it's very breathtaking on how that message is. And just overall, this film really struck a chord with me, and it is important to me very much as of now, and I can't wait to go see this film again. So yes, guys, all of that being said, this film had great acting, great soundtrack, mostly great story, great lessons. It's enjoyable for all ages. It is a good family film, but don't think of it as just a sappy family film. This family film does teach you things and give you lessons to take with you after you leave the theater. So with all of that being said, I'm going to give this movie a solid 8.5 out of 10. If it wasn't for the ending and most of the hook comparisons, this film definitely would have been a 9.5. But again, that didn't detract anything, and I still walked out of this film loving it and just being happy I got to see it and go through this journey with Christopher Robin and Winnie the Pooh one last time. So thank you so much to everyone who watched this. If you enjoyed this review, then please hit that like button. If you're new to my channel, then please hit that subscribe button. Love to have you as always. And if you want to stay up to date with all my videos and more, then please hit that little notification bell to be notified the minute my videos drop. And let's comment down below. Let's get a discussion going about this. Have you seen Christopher Robin? What did you think about it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Whatever you think, comment down below. Let me know. And let's try and remain civil about this. And until then, everyone, this is Richard Core Kenobi saying, as always, may the Force be with you all. Later, guys.